What is the Constitution? It's the supreme law of the land. It's the supreme law of the land. What is the form of government of the United States? Republic. Republic. What does allegiance mean? To be loyal to something. To be loyal to something. What does oath of allegiance to the United States mean? A promise to be loyal to the United States. A promise to be loyal to the United States. What does bear arms mean? To own or use a gun to fight. To own or use a gun to fight. What does non-combatant services mean? Services that do not involve combat or fighting. Services that do not involve combat or fighting. What is work of national importance? Tasks that are important to a nation during crisis. Tasks that are important to a nation during crisis. What is a civilian direction? A direction from a person who is not in the military. A direction from a person who is not in the military. What does claim to be a U.S. citizen mean? To tell someone that you are a U.S. citizen. To tell someone that you are a U.S. citizen. What does vote mean? To elect a new leader. To elect a new leader. What is a non-resident alien? A person who is not a U.S. resident. A person who is not a U.S. resident. What does file a tax return mean? To send a tax form to the government. To send a tax form to the government. Tell me what the Communist Party is. No freedom, like Cuba or China. No freedom, like Cuba or China. What is a totalitarian party? A political party with total control. A political party with total control. What does communism mean? A political party with a lot of control. A political party with a lot of control. What is a totalitarian dictatorship? A political system with total control. A political system with total control. What does overthrow mean? To remove a government by force. To remove a government by force. Do you understand what unconstitutional means are? Methods not allowed by the Constitution. Methods not allowed by the Constitution. What does unlawful assaulting mean? To attack someone illegally. To attack someone illegally. What is sabotage? The act of destroying something. The act of destroying something. What is a weapon? Like a knife, gun, or bomb. Like a knife, gun, or bomb. What is explosive? A substance that can explode. A substance that can explode. What does kidnapping mean? Taking someone by force illegally. Taking someone by force illegally. What is assassination? The killing of someone famous. The killing of someone famous. What is hijacking? Taking control of a vehicle by force. Taking control of a vehicle by force. What does threaten mean? To tell someone you will hurt them. To tell someone you will hurt them. What does conspire mean? To plan secretly with other people. To plan secretly with other people. What does incited mean? To encourage someone to do something illegal. To encourage someone to do something illegal. What does torture mean? To cause great pain to someone. To cause great pain to someone. What does genocide mean? Killing a whole race. Killing a whole race. What does kill mean? To cause someone to die. To cause someone to die. What does injure mean? To hurt someone. To hurt someone. What does sexual contact or activity mean? Touching private parts of someone. Touching private parts of someone. What does did not consent mean? Did not agree. Did not agree. What is religion? The belief in a god or gods. The belief in a god or gods. What is suffering? Physical or mental pain of a person. Physical or mental pain of a person. What is a military unit? The official army for a country. The official army for a country. What is a paramilitary unit? Like a military group but not official. Like a military group but not official. What is a self-defense unit? A group that protects a community. A group that protects a community. What is a rebel group? A group that fights the government. A group that fights the government. What does guerrilla group mean? A group that uses weapons to attack the government. A group that uses weapons to attack the government. What does to be detained mean? Held in custody by police. Held in custody by police. What is prison or jail? A place where prisoners are kept. A place where prisoners are kept. What is a detention facility? A place where people are forced to stay. A place where people are forced to stay. What is a labor camp? A place where people are forced to work. A place where people are forced to work. What is weapons training? Learning how to use a gun. Learning how to use a gun. What is paramilitary training? Learning how to fight in combat. Learning how to fight in combat. What is military type training? Learning how to fight in combat. Learning how to fight in combat. What does recruit mean? To ask someone to join the armed forces. To ask someone to join the armed forces. What does procure mean? To find a prostitute for somebody. To find a prostitute for somebody. Please tell me what prostitute is. Someone who has sex for money. Someone who has sex for money. What is prostitution? The work of a prostitute. The work of a prostitute. What does smuggle mean? To take things to a country illegally. To take things to a country illegally. What are controlled substances? Drugs controlled by the government. Drugs controlled by the government. What are illegal drugs or narcotics? Like heroin or cocaine. Like heroin or cocaine. What is drug paraphernalia? Equipment to make or use illegal drugs. Equipment to make or use illegal drugs. What does obtain mean? To gain something. To gain something. What is an immigration benefit? Things like a visa, green card, or citizenship. Things like a visa, green card, or citizenship. What does illegally mean? Not allowed by the law. Not allowed by the law. What does gamble mean? To play a game for money. To play a game for money. What does illegal gambling mean? To play a game for money illegally. To play a game for money illegally. What does pay alimony mean? To pay money to an ex-spouse after a divorce. To pay money to an ex-spouse after a divorce. How do you define misrepresentation? The act of giving false information. The act of giving false information. What is public benefit? Welfare, like food stamps, housing, or health care. Welfare, like food stamps, housing, or health care. Do you know what false is? It means it's not true. It means it's not true. What is fraudulent? To be dishonest. To be dishonest. What is misleading? Giving somebody the wrong idea. Giving somebody the wrong idea. What does lie mean? To say something that is not true. To say something that is not true. Do you know what removal is? Making someone leave the U.S. Making someone leave the U.S. Do you understand what rescission is? To take back a decision. To take back a decision. What is deportation proceeding? A legal process for deporting a person. A legal process for deporting a person. What does to be deported mean? To be forced to leave the U.S. To be forced to leave the U.S. What does commit mean? To do something wrong or illegal. To do something wrong or illegal. What is a crime? An action that breaks the law. An action that breaks the law. What is an offense? A minor crime. A minor crime. What does to be arrested mean? To be handcuffed by the police. To be handcuffed by the police. What does avoid being drafted mean? To prevent being selected as a soldier. To prevent being selected as a soldier. Do you know what U.S. Armed Forces are? U.S. Military, Navy, Air Force, Space Force. U.S. Military, Navy, Air Force, Space Force. Do you know what alien is? A person who lives in a country but is not a citizen. A person who lives in a country but is not a citizen. What does developmental disability mean? A problem with body movement or function. A problem with body movement or function. What does mental impairment mean? Having a mental problem. Having a mental problem. What does owe taxes mean? To owe the government money. To owe the government money. What does owe any overdue taxes mean? Didn't pay taxes on time. Didn't pay taxes on time. What does to be cited mean? Given a ticket by police. Given a ticket by police. What does to be confined mean? To be kept in a place. To be kept in a place. What does to be charged mean? To be accused of a crime. To be accused of a crime. What does suspended sentence mean? Delaying a sentence. Delaying a sentence. What is selective service? Services in armed forces under law. Services in armed forces under law. What is a hereditary title? A royal title such as a prince or princess. A royal title such as a prince or princess. Do you know what an order of nobility is? A position given by a king or queen. A position given by a king or queen. Thank you for watching. Please leave us a like or a comment if you like this video. Good luck and goodbye.